Good evening, everybody, and a slight apology for the slightly late start today, but Kool-Aid troubles aside, we are all ready to go with episode 2 of Alien the Colony. Episode 2 is called No Rose Without the Thorn. I'm just going to get my crew, who haven't been on the show so far, to very briefly, in one sentence, 10 or 12 words, just to introduce their real selves to you, and then we will crack straight on. Let's start with Matthew. You know Matthew, you can do it in less than 12 words, surely.
You know me. I am the superior co-host of the podcast.
Will.
I'm Will. Yeah, and I just like playing Free League games.
Cool, thank you. Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan, a London-based email marketer by day and RPGer by night. I do a lot of stuff with the London RPG community.
Cool, thank you. Craig.
I'm Craig. I'm a Liverpool-based indie game designer and scientist in the day job.
Cool. And finally, last but not least, Connor.
I'm Connor. I live in the same place as Dave, and we do some role-playing stuff, or used to do role-playing stuff down the pubs when they were open. Yeah.
One day soon. I'm looking forward to a whole week down the pub.
I would love it.
When they open up again, just playing games and drinking beer. Anyway, that's for later in this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. So, welcome to Alien the Colony, episode 2. What's the story so far? Now, I'm going to share the screen whilst I'm talking through some of this. The colony of Solovetski Island is laying down its roots in the islands and the sea floor of one Iota Scorpii. Prospecting and surveying is going ahead apace, and science and discovery follows hard on the wildcatter's heels. And time flies. It's already week 10, day 68 of the first year here, just 2 days away from the aphelion holiday and the height of winter. Recent efforts led by the UPP scientist Dmitry Ivanovsky have led to the establishment of Lagoon Outpost 1, a forward-deployed scientific team examining the alkaloid lagoon flowers and their symbiotic colonies of shrimp ants. Both have potential for many applications, including as a food source for the colony, but much work is left to be done, and much care needs to be taken. The lagoon flowers have shown themselves hazardous to the colonists, with lashing fronds, grabbing roots, hives of tiny biting defenders, and spore pods that literally explode in flame to disperse their seeds. After some initial teething troubles, the teamwork between the UPP and the LaSalle Bionational Corporation is settling into a good working routine. Despite LaSalle's protests, some UPPers still opt to take UPP merits in return for their work. And despite the UPP leadership's protests, other comrades have taken to getting paid in cold, hard UPP yen. But life goes on. The endless work is progressed and constant maintenance gets done. And collaboration remains the watchword across the colony. I would now like you all to introduce yourselves in character, please. And I'm going to start with Commissar General Tan Blatchman.
All right. I am Tan Blatchman, as mentioned, Commissar General, head of, I guess, security and civil law enforcement here on the colony. Keep things running smooth. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. I think we'll then go to Comrade Inspector Shu. Matthew.
I'm Comrade Inspector Shu. I'm a loyal UPP, hard-working policeman, a little bit old. This may be my last posting. I work for Commissar General, obviously. Whether I have respect for him or not isn't a thing that we'll discuss on this program. You will often see me with an unlit Tian brand cigarette hanging off my lip. I hardly ever light it, except when I'm stressed. And when I do, I light it with my fuck capitalism lighter.
Yes, I did forget the warning. This is an alien game. It's an adult game. There may be adult language and adult themes, so please bear that in mind for younger viewers. A bit late. Okay, let's go to Corporal Moritz Graf, please, Craig.
So I'm Corporal Graf. I'm the junior member of the security team. So I'll be doing all the actual work when I'm ordered to, but not otherwise.
Excellent. And then we come to, let's go to Campbell, Jonathan.
Hi, I'm playing Campbell, who is a corporate agent for the LaSalle Bionational Company. A company agent, even, I think is the term. Yeah, he's on this posting. He's looking to try and use this place as a leg up the corporate ladder. So we'll see how this goes.
Cool, thank you. And again, last but not least, Orlovsky, Will.
Dante Orlovsky, also a corporate agent. I'm the third most senior ranking LaSalle Corporation agent here. I'm also trying to climb the ladder with hook or by crook, I suppose.
Cool, thank you. Right, so what's the introduction for this chapter? Life for the Commissar's office and the security teams on Solovetski Island has been pretty smooth so far. People have been so busy getting the colony working that there's been little energy left for getting drunk or angry or agitated. There's been the odd scuffle, the occasional domestic outburst, and rumours about some illicit narcotic that seems to be doing the rounds. But overall, it's been a pretty peaceful few weeks. So there is something of an excited atmosphere when you hear that the LaSalle scientist Garth Verdeen has been reported missing. The disappearance was reported in by the LaSalle agents Campbell and Orlovsky, who had been approached by Garth's partner, Fashani Verdeen. Garth was alone, returning from Lagoon Outpost 1, and failed to arrive back at Solovetski when expected. Fashani tried to raise him on the comms, but has got no reply, and is naturally very worried. So Campbell and Orlovsky, you've had this report from Fashani Verdeen, and I guess you've reported that back up to the Commissar's office.
Indeed.
Not to me directly, it was one of my lackeys.
Have to follow the proper
not
chain.
your office specifically, Blatchman. You know, the office, as in the police station kind of thing.
Yeah. Good. No one comes barging into my office. Office.
I find you somewhat offish, but I'll. Maybe it's me that's got the missing persons report, since I'm the closest thing this place has to a detective. So maybe I'll take it into the commissar and show it to him, and say, Comrade Commissar General, we've got this missing person report as Garth Verdeen.
Some LaSalle scientist.
Yeah,
Fair
a
enough.
capitalist, obviously,
Yeah.
seeking to profit off the backs of the workers. But everyone is equal here in the Progressive People's Republic. So
For
he
now.
has just as much value as the next colonist.
Well, I guess we better, keep LaSalle happy and look for their person.
Very well. I guess we start interviewing these fellows, Campbell and Orlovsky.
Sure, let's
So
sit down together.
Fashani Verdeen is with you guys as well at the moment. So she's come to the Commissar's office with both Campbell and Orlovsky. So you're all there. You're all there at the moment.
And the wife. I mean, right now, he and I'm in his private office.
Yeah,
that's
In
fine.
some way to him. Yeah.
We're not talking shit
not-
about LaSalle in front of
Not in front of them. Not in front of his wife. I have some respect.
Not much, but some.
Not much, you're right, yes. Do you want to be involved in the interviews, or shall I?
Yes, I shall. It's been quite a few weeks. Let's actually get off my feet.
Shall we separate them then? Each one of us take one of these people to see whether their story backs up.
You're the inspector here.
I'm not sure there
you
is particularly a story to back up. So you know that Lagoon Outpost 1 is a couple of 1,000 kilometers away. It was the location that Dmitry Ivanovsky, which is Tony's character, led a scientific mission to about a month ago. And they found these plants and they left some people behind to continue the scientific exploration of the area.
Yes, but everybody's a suspect until they're discounted.
It's fine. We'll interview them together. Let's just
Very
have
well,
them all
Comrade
together
General.
for now.
I'll make a note of that.
I didn't realise you were playing Judge Dredd, Matthew.
I'm not playing Judge Dredd.
Guilty
just-
until proven innocent.
Just a policeman who can do his job in the very paranoid times.
This is how
of the
law
UPP.
enforcement is done in the UPP.
Yes. However, I direct orders from Comrade Commissar Tan Blatchman to interview them together. Excellent. Shall we call Corporal Moritz into as well? He can be very
Let's show him the
intimidating.
votes of interview.
Interview. Very well. Okay, I imagine we've got some storeroom that we've turned into the both the interrogation room and the victim support room in this rather small colony we're in at the moment.
I don't think you've got a lot of space. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a couple of rooms. I think Blatchman, you've probably bagged what was once formerly a broom cupboard, really, to be you've got room for a desk and a chair, and that's about it.
More than most of the others.
Yeah, that is very true. You're honoured to have that much space. With your window looking out on underwater to the beautiful clear seas that are over the top of most of your colony.
Nice.
I think we can agree with statements like this.
Exactly. Yeah. Done. Session over, I guess.
Well, in the UPP, we always get a man. Sorry, the man.
Exactly.
Well, if you wanted to just murder the LaSalle guys and then call it quits, that's fine. My wife's birthday today, so I'll be out of the doghouse if you do that.
Excellent. We'll do that then.
I mean, I think for peaceful relations with our other corporate sponsors, it's probably wise not to just go killing them without any, evidence on them initially. If we dig something up on them, then it's allowed.
So let me just narrate the end of the scenario. There's outside the door. There's a shtung shtung. 2 bodies fall dead. Okay, next week we'll
new characters for Jonathan and Will.
Until they roll
very well.
UPP characters up.
Let us take some statements then.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to want to lead, Commissar.
I mean, feel free to interject.
Obviously, I will.
But I think the first very important question is for confirmation that they left the Lagoon Outpost. That we know they definitely did leave and they've not just got stuck there without communications or something.
No, if Fashani Vadine is in the room as well, she says no. I last spoke to him 45 hours ago when he was leaving, and he seemed sort of excited or agitated. Unlike him, because he's a very calm person, but he wouldn't elaborate on it at the time. He told me that he'd tell me all about it when he got back to the safety of the colony.
Obviously, the Union of Progressive Peoples is a multilingual union. Let me just clarify your use of the word agitated here. Is this? Do you think he was happy about the news he was going to bring you, or was he worried, concerned, scared even of the news he was going to bring you?
Yeah, I don't think it sounded like he had good news. It was like, he said, "I'll tell you all about it," as if it's kind of, the sort of story that you'd tell that's interesting because it's a bit shocking. But he wouldn't tell me anything else because he was busy leaving.
Was he concerned that other people might be listening in on the call?
I've no idea. He didn't
What
say
we really
anything.
need in this colony actually are a bunch of people listening in on all the communications.
Tapping the communications. Yes, we should get
That
on that.
should be Corporal Morris's job, actually.
Or if it
He hasn't
isn't, it
received
is
any
now.
orders.
we'll set that up in some future adventure.
When you UPP lot are done mucking about, can we go and sort out this
The
missing person,
UPP
please?
Never muck about. But yes, we do need to
It's a simple
Ryan.
request.
find this person.
You mean you can physically go there? Like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
generally how an investigation is run.
Probably the best place to start. If all we've got to go on is a communication from there, and then we've not got anything beyond that. So the best place to start is actually where it happened, or possibly call ahead to Lagoon Outpost, see if they noticed anything strange about the departure.
You do know that
amount of
each of-
kilos of a personal effects. I've got these. These are real leather. This is earth leather shoes. I just don't. Are we going to be going outside when we get there?
it's quite wet on this planet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I dress appropriately for the trip, Orlovsky. Those shoes are going to have to stay here, mate.
You do know that each of the vehicles here, every dipper and the survey skiffs, do have beacons on them, or should have locators on them.
So we might be able to track it, or its current location, or its last known location. That seems like the strategy you go for. How do we go about checking that?
So you could ask in the control center for the operations officer who's on duty could try and find it.
Okay. Is this something that a regular civilian, the late woman who's just come to these guys, she wouldn't be able to ask them to track it? It'd have to come from.
I guess you could have asked them, but I think it doesn't. It standard procedure in this kind of situation where someone's missing might be to go to the law authorities to help.
Yeah.
And you are Commissar General. You're the sort of person with the authority to ask control.
Yeah,
this data.
I was just wondering why, they hadn't already tried to track it. But
Because she's not Ellen Ripley.
all right. Anyway, let's call up to them and ask their techno whiz kids to find us a signal.
You could do that, yeah, if you want to do that. You get through the control. It's manned by a guy called Haslo Grubov. And Grubov, who's a UPP ops officer, grumbles, complains about stupid scientists and workers making my job difficult. He comes back a few minutes later to say that there's a weak signal about 1,300 kilometers from Solovetski Island in a direct line to Lagoon Outpost 1. And so that's about 700 kilometers from Lagoon Outpost 1.
Wait, so it's gone the other direction?
No. It's 700 kilometers this way from Lagoon Outpost 1.
I thought you said Lagoon Outpost 1 was like 1,000 kilometers away.
No, it's 2,000.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so stranded, perhaps?
It's a weak
With
signal.
that
They can't narrow it down. You'd need to go over there with with the ability to try and track it closer.
Can they not even know if it's above the surface or if it's somewhere below?
Can't tell with that signal; it's too weak.
Okay.
But the distance would put it in the water, not on one of the islands.
It's probably in the middle of the ocean, yeah. But there are islands all over the place. But so it could be on an island, possibly. But that part of the planet is mostly ocean, yeah.
Can I? I'm just a stickler for detail here. Do we have details of the fuel manifest of the vehicles that went there to set up the outpost on the lagoon, and how much fuel they had back? Did they actually have enough fuel to come back? He hasn't just run out of energy.
No, so there was, after the return of the Ivanovsky party 4 weeks ago, there was a in fact, Vadim himself was part of the replacement crew, and he took plenty of fuel with them. So they should have plenty of fuel for return visits. They probably don't have enough fuel to bring all their vehicles back in one go, but certainly one of them could come back. And that's kind of the rotation, that a vehicle would go back and come in and go out and come back.
Would there typically be only one team member that would be coming back at a time? Is that unusual that he'd be making that 2,000-kilometer trek by himself?
Not necessarily. The number of people you've got here is so thin on the ground that ideally you would like to have two on a trip, but it's not a rule. It's not regulation or anything.
It should maybe start being regulation, but we'll sort that out when we find out what's actually happened. I guess our best bet is probably to head out there. As the law enforcement here, it's our duty to make sure that whoever's the person who's stranded out there has the best chance of being rescued, and who better than us, great UPP enforcement.
Very well. Does it need all of us?
I mean, probably not, but more the merrier.
Excellent.
Corporate procedure, requires that in case of a missing LaSalle company employee, that we at least have one representative, from corporate there with us. So, if you don't mind, Campbell, do you mind joining me?
Absolutely not. I could do with a little sunlight and maybe even some beach time. Yeah.
I mean, we might be underwater for all we know. There's no guarantee we'll be going to the surface.
No, but it feels like there's a chance, and that is what I'm looking for at the moment, because being in an underwater base is not what I originally signed up for.
So you do know part of the reason why 3/4 of the base is underwater is because there's a weak level of radiation from the sun on the planet. So it's not ideal, but you get a great suntan, that's for sure.
Yeah, you tan quicker.
My factor 200 is sitting ready.
Otherwise known as a compression suit.
Yeah.
Well, you do know obviously that the weather at the moment has been very cold. The planet is almost at aphelion. It's almost as far from the Sahara as it ever gets. The 2-day holiday is coming up in a couple of days because it's a 72-day year. There are 10 weeks, and then there are 2 days at the end, which is holiday for everybody. Although obviously it's not holiday for everybody because some people still need to work. But the weather's been very cold. It's been down to about -8 around here, which is, it does get colder, but not much. But the weather itself has been pretty clear and calm, it's kind of unusual. It's good dipper sailing conditions, but this place can be quite stormy. So it's quite unusual to have lots of calm weather.
So how many people can get in a transport?
There's a dipper, which is basically a diatide tractor, which has been converted into being an amphibious and underwater vehicle, submersible vehicle, and that can take up to it's up to 2 crew and up to 6 passengers without too much of a squeeze. There are survey skiffs, which are flying craft, but there's only 1 or 2 of those, and getting hold of one, you'd have to requisition it, and that wouldn't necessarily be.
Well, we have the Commissar General.
Yeah, but also
our
if
team
it
here.
does turn out that the signal is coming from below the water, the hover isn't going to be of much use.
Now, the skiff can't go underwater, but the dippers can, obviously. They're amphibious as well as submersible.
We may be better in the dipper.
We may be.
But can anyone here actually drive one?
That's a pilot skill, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
No, I had that at one point during my character creation, but I can't remember whether I ended up with it. I did not know.
No.
No, my character is used to being driven.
You are Miss Daisy, is that it?
Yes. Piloted and driven.
You obviously can pilot even without the skill in piloting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but could we get
This means you're not very good at it.
Could we get someone to pilot for us?
I think you need to make a manipulation roll, Connor, to try and requisition. So this place is busy. You've been here about 6 weeks. There's only 200 and something of you. Everybody is busy as hell.
No one should be too busy for the commissar.
Well, you're only 1 out of 7 on the command team, and you're not the most senior either. So
Oh yeah.
Some might say, "Wind your neck in, Commissar."
Anyway, so just a straight up manipulation.
Yeah.
I mean, it is technically my best skill. So
Is it? What about command?
Well, command wasn't an
Wasn't an
one I
option
could
for.
put points
could-
in, or
No.
it wasn't a what's it called, a career skill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
We talked about that, didn't we, on session
because it's really annoying that the skill I use for the end of season stuff is not one I can actually be trained in beyond one.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a massive 3 successes on manipulation. You are coming.
Excellent. Well done.
You don't get a choice.
Okay, yeah. Ops Officer Grubov just goes, "Okay, yeah, Commissar General, absolutely, we will get you a pilot." And he goes offline, and
Good kid, that Grubov.
this is the point where I would normally, preparing a scenario, have loads of potential backup names, but I haven't done that for this time. So you get junior pilot Stanislav Toktakunov.
I hope someone else is writing that down because
Write that one down.
I mean,
I'm not making notes.
I'm not the scribe.
Anyway,
Someone
you have a
else's
pilot. You have a pilot. He has a piloting skill of 6.
job. Great. That's double mine. Right. So us 5 and Dr. Kunov,
Toktakunov.
head out towards this beacon, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone got your wellies?
So the standard setup for a dipper, you have 12 equipment slots, not slops. 3 of them are taken by spare parts and tools, emergency kit, which is like basic environment pod, and 3 compression suits. One of them is taken up with installation hardening because all your vehicles and installations have been hardened against the radiation. So you've got 8 slots to fill up with other stuff if you want to take other things with you.
What sort of things could we
Actually,
take with
it's 7 if you want to take enough fuel to get back.
Yeah, do we want to take
5.
some extra fuel as well for the other pod?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. I am going to take. So I have on my character a data transmitter card, but I would also like to take the alien universe equivalent, basically a big old hard drive or floppy disk, to just save any data that might be on the on the vehicle that what's his face might have had. In the case that we don't find him well enough to talk.
Yep, that's fine. You can do that.
I think some repair equipment and medical equipment, because we can't
Perhaps a
afford
witch
to
as well.
lose. Yeah, we can't afford to lose the pod if we can salvage it.
Absolutely. I like your thinking. Pod first, the guy second. Yes.
Well, the pods cost a lot of factory workers' time.
Yeah.
I was going to say money there, but obviously
No, it's all
we have no
UPP
need of money
merits.
for the UPP.
And anyone UPP in my office not taking UPP merits, again, looked down upon.
Okay, it's 1,300 miles to get to that area. The dipper you take can be configured for scientific study and exploration. So it's got some survey equipment effectively on it, which would give you a bonus in trying to track down the signal. Now going at the safe speed on the surface, which is 50 kilometers an hour, that's going to take you 26 hours to get there.
Ooh.
Before you start the search.
Might end up missing this holiday, but of course, as law enforcement, we don't get days off. Well, not all of us, anyway. So
8 of the hours of the working day, sir. 7 of the days of the working week. 6 the torpor martyrs, whoever they were.
Have you been reading Western decadent history there, Shu?
I've been reading good communist history.
I'm gonna need to stop in at my quarters and grab a few things on the way there. About how long
your
till we
quarters
depart?
is on the way there.
You've got time to.
He's kind of scratching his neck a little bit and chewing his lip. Would it be okay to I just need to grab a couple things real quick, and then I head off towards wherever the pharmacy is, and not my quarters.
Okay.
Do I notice that? Because I got a pretty good observational skill.
I can't imagine that I'm too used to having to account for my actions yet, so I can't imagine that I would be very secretive about it.
So Matthew, make an observation roll at -3. Because I'm not sure you know where Arlovsky where his quarters are well enough
surely
already.
he's in the luxury suite.
I'm not sure there is.
Stuck-up capitalist.
Not sure there is a luxury suite here.
Well, that's
That's
a greatest
slightly
error.
bigger
So
equity.
observation is 7. -3 brings me down to 5.
4. 7 -3 isn't 5, Matthew.
What is that?
It is in communist Russia. I do get a success, however, even on 4 dice.
Okay. Yeah, you notice that he's gone off in a direction that isn't directly back towards his accommodation.
Just taking the scenic route, perhaps.
But he's kind of gone. He's gone now. So unless you want to
Fine.
follow him.
I'm going to follow him, I reckon.
I'm going to head back to my office for 5
For
before we
drugs.
head off. What?
Nothing.
Okay, let's so Will, what are you going to get?
This new narcotic, does it make you go fast or does it slow things down?
It's a good question. I'd need to, without giving any metagaming information, I'd need to ask the players who are behind it.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Whatever the it wouldn't be nap relief, would it? The whatever the stimulants. Yeah.
The X-Stims. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm able to acquire some of those.
Yeah, I think you can. That's no problem. You've probably got a stash somewhere, I suspect.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Let's
Do I have a method of communications in my office?
You're well, probably not directly. No, actually, once you get 100 or 200 kilometers away, the only communication would be with the ops center, which would be based on the Dipper's comms controls themselves.
Okay, well, no, I was just wondering if I could, from my office, communicate or send a message to Lagoon Outpost.
No, it's too far away.
Okay, never mind then.
You could do that through the ops control room.
It's fine. It's not that urgent. Hopefully.
Right. Okay. Are you setting off then, guys?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Well, no. First of all, I'm following Arlovsky.
He actually takes a little detour and goes back to his quarters.
Strange route to his quarters. Did I see him pause at any point?
No.
I come out a couple minutes later and my pupils are, about this big. I'm ready to go. I'm not worried about my leather shoes anymore.
Right.
You didn't even change out of them.
Are you still wearing them?
Oh shit! Yeah, hold on. Let me go grab some shoes.
Right. Cool. Okay. Let's move you on. So, unless there's anything you want to do on your 26-hour journey, unless you want to try and go faster.
I said it was 23.
26. It always was 26. I said 26. It's written down here as 26.
Okay. Maybe I'm remembering.
Nice try. Nice try.
As you're traveling, you're very pleased to note that the weather is actually holding as cold and calm. So actually, it doesn't get any better. After.
So it is just the 5 of us and the pilot. We haven't brought the wife.
No, well, unless you want to, but
let's not.
I'm assuming she wasn't invited.
No.
Was it wife? I didn't think it was wife.
Partner, at least.
Oh, okay.
Showing a surname.
I mean, unless they've got a very weird family.
I don't know. The part UPP colony, anything could be up for grabs.
I think you'll find that we are a very traditional society, even though we have got rid of things like religion and other decadent practices that you capitalists still thrive on. The opiate to the masses. But we still have a good traditional family structure.
Okay, on that note, so as you are traveling, could somebody make a +1 Comtech roll? Well, in fact, you get +2 because you've got the surveying gear on the ship to try and narrow down the signal.
Again, I'm quite good at
not
that.
going to be me.
I can do that. I have a 7.
You sound like the man for the job.
I have a 7 plus 2 is 9. So I'm making myself useful. Trying
From each according to his ability, as we say.
Well, I can't fault the communists on that front, I suppose.
We'll win you over.
I get 1 success.
Yeah. Okay. As you're getting closer and closer, the signal from the other Dipper is definitely there. It's quite weak, but it's not so weak that it's difficult to track down, and you can very easily narrow down the location of the signal. And the days on this planet are short. They're only 10 hours long, so you get 5 hours of daylight, 5 hours of darkness. And it's just sort of middle of the day when you reach the point where you are directly on top of the signal. And you are in the middle of the ocean. And the signal is, well, it's directly beneath you.
I assume we have some sort of depth range finder in this dipper. How deep is directly beneath?
There are the actual sea surface here is quite deep. It's several hundred meters, with the occasional sort of underwater island, and the signal is coming from about 60 meters down, directly beneath you.
If we start diving, can we see directly below us as we're going down?
Yeah, I suspect you've got portholes in all directions.
How far along the 2,000 kilometer route are we here?
It's about 1,300. So you're just over halfway to Lagoon Outpost 1.
And does there appear to be any, on the surface, any kind of debris or anything like that?
Not that you can see, no. Nope.
Can we try and communicate with the other dipper from here?
Yeah, you can. But you get no reply.
I guess we're going fishing then.
Yeah.
So
Shoot
you
up,
do,
Corporal.
yeah, you do have 3 compression suits, but also the dipper itself is submersible. Safe to 50 meters, probably okay up to about 80 meters.
Right then, pilot. Bring us down to 50 meters and turn the lights on.
Yeah, somebody want to make a roll for Toktikunov with his
How
6
many
dice?
does Toxikunov roll?
He gets 6.
Do it better, Toxikunov! I shout at him, giving him a point of stress. And, remarkably, he succeeds.
Yeah,
Good
not
one,
sure.
comrade.
Not sure what we're doing on the NPC pushing rules here, but I'll let you get away with that. It's a bit bumpy. Maybe there is quite a bit of current here, perhaps. And yeah, I mean, you get yourself down to about 50 meters. The water here is beautifully clear, crystal clear. It's just obviously the deeper you go, the darker it gets because less and less light gets down there.
But I assume
You
we've
do-
got torches or lights on the outside.
You do have external lights on the outside. As you're coming down, you can see resolving this sort of pinnacle of sort of a mountain under the water. And on this, you can see on its side resting another dipper.
Oh,
But you're
that's
about-
Does there
rather
appear
lucky.
to be any damage on the dipper?
Make a observation roll.
No, I'm not very good at that.
Use it with -1 as well, because you are still
Worse then.
10 meters away from this thing, and the water's it's getting darker down here.
That's a flat nothing.
Did you want to push?
I mean, considering how few dice, I don't think it's worth pushing. To be fair, as I'm pretty unlikely to get it still. So
So you're
Did
50
you use
meters.
the scopes? Isn't there? We have surveying equipment, right? I mean, did you use the scope? You got to turn the thing on.
I'm just using my eyes.
Yeah, so your surveying equipment is like scanning stuff. It's not
Okay.
necessarily visual at this range. Your
Go
dipper
figure the
is
guy in the suit
creaking
doesn't know.
under the pressure, so you hear the little creaks of joints and the metalwork and the glass or the plastic steel or whatever it is.
May I suggest then that a few of us, I'm going to hope that this is part of the plot stuff that you said that there was, took up some storage, that we've got some nice heavy duty steel cables that we could get into some compression suits dive the 10 meters or whatever, more than 10 meters to the other ship, and try and pull it out.
You've definitely got that kind of stuff on board, absolutely. And you do have the end of the dipper is effectively a small airlock. They've been designed that way, but obviously because they're submersibles.
That's a good idea. Well volunteered.
Well, I enjoyed snorkeling when I had the chance, but this is a bit beyond that. But I will take a crack at it if I need to.
Corporal Moritz will go with you.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. I'm probably halfway into the suit already. knowing that it's coming.
Resigned to the fact that you'll be getting sent.
Oh, was that because of all the creaking on the main boat? If it goes, you want to be inside a compression suit.
I did not comment on that.
That creaking is the sound of the hull doing its work.
I think you'll find that Corporal Moritz Graf has total confidence in the quality of UPP engineering.
Yes, sir. 100%, sir.
I'm just thinking, though, Moritz, you may wish to make sure before attaching the cables to the other vehicle that it is not entirely flooded. Closer observation should be able to tell you that.
Obviously, check for life signs nearby.
Do we have one of those?
What?
Or is that just a motion sensor?
No, I mean just like
No,
use your eyes.
somebody at the window going, "Let me out! I'm drowning." I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see from where you are that there is a little bit of residual power in the dipper that's lying on its side. So there is some light coming from inside. It's quite dim, but it's there's definitely some power going on. But you're too far away to make anything else out.
Would it be possible to cycle the airlock, to gain entry into the vehicle before it's towed to the surface, or would that just sink the whole thing like a rock?
Could we get the
Enter?
It kind of depends. You need to see what the situation is, I guess. In theory, you could, yeah.
Get the two dippers to go like butt to butt, so it's airlock to airlock.
One of them is on its side.
I don't think they dock like that. No, that's a good idea for the UPP engineers to work on. But these ones don't dock like that. No.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
But also, Dr. Kunov seemed to have enough trouble just diving the ship. Let's not push him into trying to get any closer.
Okay, well, Moritz is suited up. I'll suit up. I don't know if we need a third just yet, so we'll
Leave one in reserve.
grab the cables, decompress airlock, however that's going to work.
Well, no, it would fill up with water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Compressed.
compression up.
So you can fit two of you into the airlock. It's a bit of a squeeze. It's a bit of a hug going on.
Plus the ropes, plus the steel ropes, cables, whatever they are.
They're probably actually on the outside of your. They're probably stowed on the outside, I suspect. Actually,
well, that's convenient. That's good.
Probably a winch or something. Quick question about the personal communicators. Would there be a way for me to, send a quick like text communication to Campbell? When he's over there or anything like that. Would that be?
Have you got a personal communicator then, Arlovsky?
Yeah, I have one. Do you?
So
Campbell?
if Campbell does, then yes, absolutely
Yeah.
you can. But if he doesn't, then no.
Okay.
No,
Do the suits that they're putting on have some sort of link back to the dipper, though?
They'll have a radio link, like
It's probably
a
an
voice,
open
a voice
channel.
link. Yeah, it'll be an open channel. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why would we need to say anything in secret?
Exactly.
There should be
I
no
wouldn't.
secrets.
I don't know. Maybe I don't trust all these commies to not sabotage the only capitalist
Sabotage.
scientist we have there. Not that that's something you folks
Who are
would
you
do. of course.
discussing this with?
This is all player chat.
Is
very
it?
good.
Right.
Very
Okay.
blurred lines.
Graf and Campbell. The airlock has pressurized. The outer door is open. I need a mobility roll for you to negotiate your way down the 10 meters to get to the other.
This I am less good at.
That's a 0 success.
Okay.
Start drifting away.
Same. I'm going to take a point of stress and re-roll.
Yeah,
2
I might do that.
successes.
Okay.
On pushing the roll, does the point of stress add before we do it and then add into the re-roll? Or
You add
after?
the dice.
Re-roll
Add the dice
includes
to the
your
roll
stress
straight away. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to do that, so I just did that. I'm okay. Either way.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one success.
Right. So you're floundering about a bit. There is actually a little bit of a current down here that obviously Toktakinov is expertly dealing with the dipper, so you don't feel it. But as soon as you get out, you start being sort of dragged away a little bit, but you manage to control it, and you get down to the dipper. Can I have an observation roll? It can be a group observation roll for the two of you. So the person with the best observation make the roll, but they can also get +1 dice from the other person in helping.
I've got an observation of. Sorry,
I have 7.
you've beat me. I've got 5.
So make a 8 dice roll there, Jonathan.
That I
Plus your
will
stress.
do. Oh yeah, plus my stress. It's been a while since I've played Alien.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 successes.
Okay. As the two of you are swimming kind of down, and I don't know. I'm assuming you're doing a commentary kind of as you're going, so the others hear this.
Yeah.
The first thing you can see as you're swimming down is that there is a large hole torn in the underside of the dipper, which has breached its hull. The dipper itself is flooded, and there's definitely the figure of a person inside the water, inside the flooded dipper. You can also see in the water inside the dipper compression suits floating about in the water. On closer observation, this hole looks like it's doesn't look like it's hit something. It looks like it's been blown out from maybe an explosion, or something has blown the bottom of the dipper out.
Ooh.
And as you're doing all this is quite spooky. This is on quite a narrow platform, which then drops very quickly down either side, deep into the darkness. And Jonathan, you can see, Campbell, you can see what looks like shadowy shapes moving in that dark below you. Nothing distinct. You can't make anything out. But out the corner of your eye, you think, that looked like a shadow that moved in a way that a shadow shouldn't have done.
Would we be able to? We have floodlights on the skiff, correct? That we could. Are they modular? Can we aim them?
You could aim them, absolutely. The range on them here isn't great.
Okay, I'm just thinking that if we're this far below, that they would probably be phobic to light, whatever kind of anything that we see down there, So maybe just kind of sweeping right at the base of the other skiff.
Okay.
Ward off whatever creatures.
Make an observation roll then, Will, for doing that.
Okay. Oh, gotta get my meth dice. Okay.
Meth dice.
Yeah, I've got 1 stress from taking the. That's 1 success on the meth dice. So don't do drugs, kids.
The meth. No, exactly. Just say no. Just say no. Okay, yeah. So you cast it around. You can't see. Nothing resolves in the beam of your lights. Just the shadows recede, and then as your light moves, the shadows come back.
It's probably just school of fish.
Yeah. Moritz, let's swim on into the hole in the hull and
So the
So
hole
if
in the hull is not big enough to get through.
Oh, okay.
But it's obviously big enough to rupture the hull and flood the dipper.
Are
Okay.
What sort
there
of size is it?
The hole itself is probably about the size of a football.
Campbell, is there
And-
scoring on there? Any black, any stippling or anything like that? I mean, is this does this look like something like a hydraulic pipe broke or improper pressure? Or does it look like there's some kind of combustion?
From Campbell's observation role, you think it looks like there has been some form of explosion.
So I think I'll just radio through. Obviously, we've described that. I'll just radio on. We could be sabotage, sir, but we don't know at this point.
We need to somehow recover the skiff so that we can investigate this properly.
get
We
this
can't
thing
have a
tied up.
saboteur in the
We-
colony.
we
Yes,
can
but
pull it.
Commissar General, you realise that this will be an enormous dead weight as it is full of
Oh,
water.
yes.
We
Is
need
the
to think of some way of bailing it out.
well,
Would
is
it be
the
possible-
airlock still active?
Oh man,
If
you
you're-
think the same thing I am.
There is power. Yes, you can cycle the airlock.
Well, I just want to try and get into the thing first.
Yes, you can get in through the airlock. Absolutely, there is enough power to open the doors. Yeah.
I wouldn't take your suit off on the inside though.
Well,
So-
the inside's flooded, so
Yeah.
Would it be
no,
possible
I'm-
to reroute the pumps in the airlock and have them? We'd probably end up depleting the rest of the power on the skiff, but basically reroute the pumps. I'd imagine that if there's a hull breach, if we could reroute the airlock so that we could empty out the hull a little bit, the inside of the skiff, even just enough. If we kill the rest of the power on the way up to the surface, it would probably help mitigate some of that dead weight. As Comrade Inspector mentioned.
I think if with a heavy machinery roll, you could probably patch the hull breach from the inside enough to be able to get enough pressure to do exactly that. Yeah.
Do these
Then-
skiffs come with repair kits that might add one?
I thought that
yes,
was part of the parts that
we packed stuff in our own. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
So-
but you're
well,
down
yeah.
in this other one at the moment. I'm just saying. I mean, you can come back to ours. But
we-
I'm just wondering
we
whether
come-
there's.
If we open the airlock to get into it, then that defeats the purpose.
No, it doesn't, because at the moment it's flooded out entirely. So you can equalize pressure anyway.
I'm gonna just put my hand up here and go. I seem to be completely misunderstanding how any of the physics of this is working, because I was there thinking that because it's full of, with the hole in it, because it's full of water, it doesn't actually change anything other than it's the weight of the skiff. So I'm at a loss here. So I'm just going to follow what you guys say.
Well,
What?
we've
And
got
that's as a player,
buoyancy.
not as a character.
Yeah, no, I'm understanding that. But we've got buoyancy in our skiff, but we're carrying a volume of water, X tons of water that our engines might not be able to cope with. So ideally, we want to get a bit of buoyancy in this other skiff as well.
Yeah. So
I
you can
believe.
get a.
I'm
You
not a
can get plus.
submariner.
You can get +1 on your heavy machinery roll for the equipment. You get -1 because you're doing it in your outfit and you're doing it in water. But you can, if you do that, you can patch the breach enough so that as the air pressure increases inside the skiff, inside the dipper, that'll be enough to get you to the surface.
Because I presume I'm doing that heavy work. Can I, once I get
What
in
we
there,
recruited you into the marshal's office for, Corporal.
exactly.
grunt work, yeah.
I presume the guy never got a suit or anything on.
Yeah, you said we saw a body.
Yeah, there's a body. He's not wearing a suit. Have you
Any obvious injuries?
Are you going in, Graf? Are you guys going in through the airlock to have a close look at him?
I
I'm
believe
going
Graf
in
said he was
because
doing
I
that.
thought I needed to go in to start effecting repairs from
Yeah.
the inside.
Are you going in as well, Campbell?
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you're inside, you've seen a picture of Verdine. You were shown a picture before you left. This is Garth Verdine. He's not wearing a suit. He is obviously dead, and he appears to have what looks like a shotgun wound to his shoulder.
I will radio that straight in.
Wow.
Can you see a shotgun?
You can't see a shotgun.
That's a negative, comrade.
Before you start effecting repairs, does it look like there's any kind of like a PDC, any data disks, anything like that floating around?
That is what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's what I've got my keen eyes on.
I think
And,
you'll
does-
find we use tape in the UPP.
Well, yeah, right. Damn new plague.
It's that retro-futuristic taste.
As you do indeed in your decadent Western computers.
Hey, we all lost all the silicone in the new plague. It's not a UPP centric event there.
But
Does
the,
it look
the
like?
important thing is we were using tape before the new plane.
Oh, dear.
The short answer, anyway, is no. You can't see any obvious things like that floating about. Certainly not in the water.
It's curious as to where the shotgun shot would have come from.
I mean, given there's nobody else here, presumably they took it with them.
Now, the assumption was he was travelling back on his own, but was he?
Perhaps not.
Is
I'm
there a
gonna do
compression
that.
suit missing?
There are 3 compression suits in here, which is the normal
The standard
standard.
complement. But they are floating about. They weren't secured, you said.
They're floating about in the water. Yeah.
That he could have tried to get one on while it was flooding if he was still alive at that point.
Are you looking at them, Craig?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if they're floating about, yeah.
Investigate the compression suits, Craig. Have a close look. I mean, Corporal,
Is that a command? You offering dice?
I don't have command. Don't worry.
Then shush.
Although maybe I could roll 3 dice.
Yeah, I'll take a
And
closer
I
look at
succeed
the...
in one. So if you want an extra dice on that one, go ahead.
You don't need to roll for this, I don't think. On closer inspection, you see. In fact, I would give you -1 for Matthew's bonus, but I won't make you roll. Each of them, the air supply on each of them is registering 4, like almost full. But actually, on looking at them, the air supplies are all empty, and they've been rigged to show full, but they're all empty.
This was clearly sabotage.
But someone went to a great effort here, sir. They've rigged the suits, blown the hole, but maybe, I don't know, why shoot him if that was the case?
Whatever he found out at the lab.
I mean, just
they didn't
as
want to
many
get him
things
back
as
to base.
possible.
Well, obviously, but if you're going to blow up
How-
a skiff and drop him underwater with no suits, why finish the job with a shotgun that's going to make us suspicious in the first place?
Have you got medical aid?
Nope.
Well, okay, Campbell or Moritz, make a medical aid roll, and if you get a success, let me know.
Just as a question while I'm rolling that,
Just
how many
empathy.
people
Nope.
work sort of at a time on the lagoon outpost?
Well, it's not set at the moment. There were 5 people working there, including Verdine.
So generally not a lot.
No, it's because it's a small outpost. There's lots of these places springing up to explore the planet. Graf and Campbell, did you get a success either of you?
I got 1
No.
success.
Campbell, you note that the shotgun wounds weren't fresh. They're not as if they were open, but it wasn't as if
He's not been bleeding out of it
no
whilst in the
no
water.
there was no bleeding out into the water. No,
Okay.
and they don't look life-threatening either. They look painful and nasty, but it wasn't a killing shot.
Okay.
Commissar, the
Shall
man's wife said he was agitated.
Perhaps because he was shot.
Or maybe he was shot because he was agitated.
Corporal,
Perhaps.
shall we fix up this hole and cycle the airlock and attach our chains and get out of here?
Yep, I think we need to bring this in for a full and thorough investigation by the comrade inspector.
Okay,
Yes.
make your heavy machinery roll, please.
Plus one,
you can-
because I'm helping.
Plus one
Yep.
for the help. Yep.
Got a weird feeling. I'm not sure if I'm correct or not.
That's 3 successes on heavy machinery.
Okay. Well,
Excellent.
without a problem, you managed to seal that breach brilliantly well, and yeah, you cycle it and you empty the water from inside the dipper. It's not a skiff. A skiff flies. This
My fault.
dips.
Yeah. In the name.
But yeah, I think with that 3 successes, you've also attached a tow cable, if you want, to get it back to the surface as well. But obviously, as you fill it with air, its buoyancy begins to lift it.
Do we need to leave somebody on the vessel to help pilot it? I ask our pilot.
You don't have to. You can tow it once it's on the surface.
Right then.
It doesn't have a
Does the
lot of
drag
power
from
left.
does the drag from the dipper affect our fuel consumption on the way back?
It will do. I think though we have
But
to
we
go
bought
onto
extra
the
fuel.
island. Lagoon.
You have taken quite a lot of fuel though, so I don't think you need to worry about fuel. Dr. Kinov says, "Don't worry, I'll fix it. It's fine. We've got enough fuel."
Nice.
Good, because I think we're going to have to go onto the island. The crime has been committed there.
A murder in paradise.
Wait, so we're going to go to
Death in
Lagoon Outpost
paradise.
rather than back to the main base. Is that the plan?
Which one of us is Ardlo Hanlon and which one of us is...
I'm Don
Yeah.
Warrington, that's for sure.
I would suggest that we secure the dipper back at the main base before heading back out, which gives the lagoon outpost, I guess, gives them another day and a half, 2 days, but they've
Are you
already
worried
had-
about
Yes,
contamination of
luckily,
the
LaSalle
scene?
has no authority in this investigation. Comrade Commissar,
Yes.
given that there appears to have been sabotage and murder among some employees, maybe of LaSalle, maybe potentially targeting UPP employees. What was the Vadim? What side of this?
This was not a UPP employee, though, was it? This was a
LaSalle.
Was he LaSalle?
LaSalle,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cell
Vadine
scientist.
was a LaSalle scientist. Yeah.
Yeah.
UPP equipment.
Yes, exactly. This costs many man hours of factory time, person hours, obviously. I feel we should go to the island. Well, quite. I can take on Campbell's point that there are better facilities back at base. You know, we're 700 kilometers away from the island now. We have culprits, potential culprits on the island. Who knows what else they're plotting?
Yeah.
I agree with the inspector's assessment.
All right. Well,
I think we're not going to find out anything by taking it back to the main base.
I'm sure we'll find out some things because we are excellent police officers.
Oh, of course, but I think we'll find out more. Plus, it's closer, so
I think there is a more urgent investigation that needs to take place. It needs to take place in the Laguna base.
I was hoping we might be able to pick up some backup as well, but sure. All right. I don't know about the rest of you, but I at least came prepared.
Obviously, I came prepared as well. And I'd like to point out there are 3 or 4 people left on the Lagoon outpost, so we outnumber them too. I don't think we need backup.
I've got my.
We've got Corporal Graff here for a start.
Gun. I've got my baton, ready to apprehend some wrongdoers.
Fill me with confidence, Commissar.
All right.
Okay. Are you progressing on?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Are you leaving Vadin's body just to kind of dry out in the other
Well, I don't think that. I mean, for the rest of the journey, yes. I think.
Okay, fine.
We can bury it at Lagoon Outpost if necessary.
We can perform an autopsy, or decide whether an autopsy needs to be performed.
I mean, they are scientists at the base, so hopefully they'll know.
There may be some drugs in the man's bloodstream that we need to investigate.
Good idea.
I'm not sure you've got the facilities on board here to do that.
No, which is why
exactly.
we might need to eventually take the body back. We can't bury him on the Lagoon outpost, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
His wife's going to want to send him off as well, so.
Yeah.
Viking burial.
We're not Vikings. We're the Progressive People's Union.
Yeah, but isn't that the one where you put them on a boat and set the boat on fire?
Yes.
What a waste of equipment.
Well, we wouldn't put it on a metal boat.
No, we will take him back to the labs at the base, and we will investigate his blood
and then
for any contaminants.
Burial.
And then he will be recycled into your next meal.
Exactly.
Waste not, want not. That's the motto, isn't it? Right. Okay. So yeah. So
interesting 700 kilometers.
You enjoy the barbecue. Right. Okay. As you are heading that 700 kilometers, the weather begins to turn a little bit, and the water begins to chop. The rain begins to come down. The clouds come across. It's not terrible, but it's not as nice as it was. As you approach the flower lagoons, you see that the flower-like trees, some of which are, a meter tall, others are 3 or 4 meters tall, adorn the islands as far as you can see. The orange glow of the sunlight just you're getting some really loud kind of feedback stuff coming back. I don't know if someone's got some bad loud noise in the background somewhere. That stopped it, whoever that was.
Can you hear it now? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone now. Okay. Yeah, just obviously just that's cool. Great. So yeah, as you approach the flower lagoons, these flowers adorn the islands as far as the eye can see, with the orange glow of the sun just highlighting their glorious colours. Their spreading roots all find their way to water, the water that has a yellow-orange tinge, occasionally with the swirls of blue tangled within it. The water in the lagoons is more discoloured, a nitric acid concoction, as the biggest and brightest flower trees like to grow in the middle of these lagoons. The air's got a bitter twang to it, with the occasional whiff of what smells like a bonfire. In some places, the rock has been eroded away by the presence of the flower tree to reveal minerals beneath. You can also see a phenomenon that has been seen over the last few weeks of the occasional very powerful hot steam geyser coming up through one of these lagoons. and that's caused a couple of the goons to sort of collapse in on themselves. It's not particularly dangerous; doesn't happen very often, but it's yet another sort of
Hell.
part of the atmosphere here. As you're approaching, you can see in the distance one of these geysers happening. It's a few miles off, but it bursts upwards, and the air is so cold that the steam very quickly freezes, and then there's a localized shower of snow coming down over that part of the lagoons after the geyser has fired off. As you do approach, I'm going to share a screen, Matthew. Okay, I might need to change the screen. Okay, bear with me while I find the right one. Okay, you are approaching from the northwest, and you're approaching from the top left of the image here. If you can see the screen, guys.
Yep.
So the original exploration site that was covered in the last episode is marked in the box here, and there is a science pod anchored about 50 yards away from this area, which has been anchored to the sea floor, and that works there. You can see several hundred yards away a secondary science pod, another pod that has been brought, but is now anchored on this bit of land, which is between two lagoons. From where you are, you can't see much else, but that's what you see when you arrive.
Okay, the first thing I'm looking for is where do they park their dippers? More their dippers, I should say.
So they only had 3 dippers. You can't see any of them around the science pod here, but I think you can just see them. Their shape over here somewhere. So at the moment are parked over by the secondary science pod.
And it looks like there are 3 dippers over there.
2.
Yeah, 'cause
And
one of
one's,
them is
and we're bringing
pulling
one with
along
us.
And you're dragging one back with you, yeah.
So should we just head straight for the secondary science pod, and the other?
Well,
I mean, where there's dippers, there's people. We'd assume.
they could have left someone at the primary pod.
I mean, we've got radio. We could just try and contact them.
If they killed somebody, I mean, they wouldn't be expecting, a second dipper and then another being towed. The fact that we found this guy, they're going to be, probably wondering, if we're coming for him. Might it be a good idea to make sure that they don't have access to those dippers, if there's a way to lock them out, or deactivate the drives, or something so they can't escape. Not that there's anywhere to go on this godforsaken rock.
Yeah.
We should be able to communicate at this range with the 2 science pods. Maybe
Absolutely,
we should announce
yes.
our presence, Commissar.
Yes. We shall announce our arrival.
Yeah, okay, you do that. There's probably about 30 seconds of radio silence before you then get a crackling response. How were you introducing yourselves?
Commissar General Tam Blatchman, Comrade Inspector Zhao? How do you pronounce your name? Sorry, Shu. Corporal Moitz Graf, and 2 company boys. Exactly like that.
Okay. The response is it's a male voice comes back, and it says, "Oh, thank the commissars. Thank everybody that you're here. It's I'm so glad
Something
you've
the
made it
matter?
with. Well, did you have you heard about Vadine? He left. He went mad.
He what?
He went mad. He started attacking. Have you found him? He's going to be a danger to to everybody if he gets back to the colony. He stole my dipper.
I'm going to put my hand over the microphone. Wait,
I mean, we
where's
can
the
just
camera?
nod.
There it is. And I'm just going to say, you need to be very careful right now about what information you give them.
I know.
That's it.
But I
Yes,
think they
Commissar,
might-
it's
It might be that they're telling the truth, so we should listen to what they're willing to tell us.
Might
take
I
it as-
suggest that we don't let them know he's dead. If they know he's alive, to give another side of the story. It might be incentive to be a little more honest.
we are towing his ruined skiff, dipper.
Can we drop that off, or just let it go for a second? Go, and then go park with the rest of them at the other site.
I think you can, but I think you've probably brought it within visual range, probably.
So I mean, we just say
Where
that. Couldn't we say that Verdine had he had some technical issues, with the dipper, and that we're the rescue party. We're just bringing him back for more repairs, so that Verdine can get on home, something like that.
I've put the map back up again. If you want to put that up, Matt.
I think we should hear their side of the story before going in guns blazing.
I think we should immediately ask for the location of all personnel at this outpost.
That's not a bad suggestion.
No.
Well, we'll message back asking, where they're all located.
I'm Nurlan Ozelinski. I am at the secondary science pod, but I can come to the primary science pod to see you. We've got Zenaida Ibeck is here with me, scientist. Christoph Kalin is in the primary science pod, and Kamun Chan, a wildcatter. He is, I think he's sleeping off in his dipper at the moment, which is here nearby the secondary science pod. Have you found Verdine?
I suggest we ask them all to report to the secondary science pod, and we pick the colleague. Is it Ibet from who's currently in the primary one?
Kalin, Christoph Kalin is at the site. Is at the primary.
We pick Kalin up for the primary and take him with us to the secondary.
I agree. We want them all together in one place. No.
Wake up the man Chan and have him join you in the science pod.
In the secondary science pod or the primary science pod?
In the secondary science pod, where you are now. Do not attempt to move.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. As long as you're sure it's safe. Verdine had gone really mad. He's a danger to everybody.
Do not concern yourself with Verdine, citizen.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, we will comply. Yeah, absolutely. And he signs off.
So we'll communicate with the first science pod and tell the guy we're coming to pick him up and take him to the secondary science pod for question.
Yeah, Colleen, basically, just confirms that you're coming. Doesn't say anything else.
Okay.
Before we pick him up, is there anything we need to discuss that we will not be wanting to discuss before he's in our company?
Well, they're obviously we're pulling the other pod. We've got to tell them something. Are we telling them that he's dead? Or that we've got him?
The other pod has been recovered, is all we need to tell them. We need to know their stories.
They have a
We
meeting
could
to
say
ask about
Verdine's
what's
back at
happened.
base. He went back with the other dipper and the medical team.
We don't need to tell them anything. I know it's the way of corporations to lie, Arnofsky, but we just find it easier not to relay information that people don't need to know. All they need to know is we have recovered the pod and we are now investigating potential sabotage.
Yeah, but they're
Which
not,
is all true.
I agree. However, I do think we should say something about Vadine because they're not going to let it go.
Well, Commissar, you are obviously a far better negotiator and speaker of men than I am, so if you wish to say something, go ahead. But I see no necessity.
So you've got about 5 minutes before you're going to be reaching the primary science pod. You're not far away from it.
What am I going to say?
Why don't we just round them all up, put them in separate rooms, and see what they say?
You can have the investigation that you wanted at the beginning of the scenario. The interrogation, sorry.
You are not yet off my list of suspects, Campbell.
Well, if I was off the list of suspects, that would just make life boring, wouldn't it?
To be fair, this is also how it's done. You know, everyone is on the list until we can definitively cross them off. So,
hey!
There's also 90% of the people.
You rephrase that. I'm not getting crossed off any lists. Thank you very much.
What's this you're saying? No, forget it. I can't. It's going to be too...
I don't want to be murdered, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want anyone murdering me, is what I'm trying to say.
Don't worry. There is no such thing as murder in the UPP. There is simply re-education.
Judicial realignment is called.
Wow. I mean, wow.
Okay, you're now approaching the pod, and as you're approaching it, you can see these pods are basically one big, large science lab. There's no special rooms in there. There's a few cupboards and stuff. There's a young man in his early 20s. The end door has been opened, and he's watching your approach, looking quite apprehensive, seeing you are bringing
Kalin, right?
This is Christoph Kalin, yeah.
Early 20s, did you say?
Yeah, he's a young man.
Blonde?
No, dark hair. And he's watching your approach. He's not waving, he's not doing anything, he's just watching.
Right, let's get him aboard.
Do we want to do a check of the primary pod?
A search.
Search, yeah.
Maybe wise.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Searcher.
Campbell will suggest with a knowing smile at the jokes that he was making not a few minutes ago about not being trusted. But he will suggest that you guys take the guy and go on to the meeting. He'll stay back to give this place a thorough search, and we'll catch up with you guys.
That's a hilarious joke, even funnier than your last few. I will stay with you while you investigate this pod. I don't believe that the science pod is your LaSalle property, and if it were, let me remind you that all property is theft.
So Campbell and Shu are staying in Pod A to search it. The rest of
I'm
you are
not
taking.
sure that we're going to need the whole time to search it. I think we'll search it initially, and then we can rejoin the Dipper and join the others.
Yeah, I don't think we need to leave anyone behind.
Yeah.
Well, we can always send the pilot back with the Dipper.
If there is stuff that needs further investigation, somebody may stay aboard, but it won't be Campbell on his own, or indeed Orlovsky.
Oh, the trust. Okay, if you two are on the pod, I want you both to make individual observation rolls, please, because I'm assuming from all of this that you are not cooperating in this search.
I also want to point out that I have the investigator talent.
What does that allow you to do?
When I spend a turn in a room or similar location, I can roll for observation. I'm skilled at noticing small details and making sense of them. One attempt is allowed. For each, I guess, 6 you roll, you may ask the GM one of the following questions. And there's a bunch of questions which I will ask you, depending on how many 6s I roll.
You can do that with that talent, yeah.
Right.
I'm going to re-roll.
Okay, take your stress.
I'm looking at what he's doing, and I'm re-rolling as well. Let's check again.
The two of you are like, it's like a tennis
I got
game.
2 successes, but I also got 1 panic.
Okay, make the roll on the panic then, Jonathan.
He'll be fine.
That's a 6.
Yeah, you're holding it together. Okay, Matthew, you don't know this, so don't metagame. But Jonathan, you've found there's a lot of research here into these lagoon flowers and these small creatures, and you've found that they're making quite a few breakthroughs in terms of the danger of these things, and particularly the frond and the poison that the frond has. And I think in that process, your panic comes about where you see something and you're just about to dip your finger into it, and then you take your hand away and you then read what's under it, and you think that would be a bad thing to do.
Oh, okay.
But that's pretty much all you learn there. But
Okay.
Matthew obviously hasn't seen any of that.
Don't stick your fingers in chemicals.
Matthew, how many successes did you get?
He doesn't have his headphones on at the moment.
It's frozen.
He seems to have frozen, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. But just carry on
Guess
without
he
it.
can't ask you any questions.
Well, if he's got...
Come here. Just dip your finger in this.
If he's got
taste it. I have a smell.
UPP wireless, and Wi-Fi and internet, then no surprise he's frozen.
I mean...
No, he's not frozen.
No, he's now just waiting for us to stop talking now, because I could see him move.
He's sitting there pretending to be frozen and listening to everything we're saying.
I was just about to say he picked a really good pose to be frozen on, but I can see him blinking now.
Okay, Matthew, can you hear us?
No, he took his headphones off so he wouldn't metagame.
Oh, right, okay. Matthew! Woo! Hi, Jones! You have fucking earphones on, you muppet.
Well, hold on. That's me not metagaming.
No, that's great, but you have to be ready to come back on board. Anyway, how many successes did you get? And
I
what questions do you wish to ask?
And that gives me 2 questions. The questions are, the ones I'm going to choose are, is there anything hidden here? And if so, where? That's one question.
No,
is it?
2.
That is one question in the way it's written.
Is it? Okay. Well, the answer is no.
And finally, are there any details here that are out of place? Something that's out of the ordinary?
No.
What have you found, Campbell?
Some of the research on the local flora. and its various properties, but nothing much of note or interest. I nearly touched something which was a bit of a mistake, but I'm not a scientist, so how was I to know?
What have you done that's a mistake?
I didn't actually touch it, but I nearly did.
What touched what?
That beaker over there. Don't
The
get
one with a,
I direct my attention to the beaker that he is pointing to.
it's got some sort of what appears to be some drained off yellow resin or sap in it. And there is a slightly obscured, but only by sort of dirt, sign, which is basically saying biohazard, do not touch.
Very well. You wanted to pick this up?
Well, I was looking for other things, and I wasn't paying full attention. Apparently,
Very well. I'm just thinking. Obviously, the commissar is a hard man to please, and you see he is a very strict adherent to the politics of the UPP, as befits anybody with the rank of commissar. I, of course, am a gentle and kind, easygoing sort of fellow. Is there anything you have found in those notes that suggest that there may be, shall we say, qualities to these plants that might send somebody like Vadim, as Olievsky called him, crazy?
Ozelinsky.
Ozelinsky.
no, I don't think there's anything in the research that indicates that. There was, however, something I heard one of them say over the radio as we were talking. That, I mean, gosh, maybe I am spending too much time with you. It didn't sound very UPP like in terms of, I think there was
Well, there are a lot of LaSalle personnel here.
ownership.
No, the four people here are all UPP now.
The four that are left, right?
It was a comment on ownership of property. I think I may be mishearing.
Yes, this is my pod. Is that the one you're thinking of?
Potentially, I can't.
That concerns me as well. Because
I mean, I'm not. Don't make me a card carrying member, but
I never mistook you for a member of the party.
when you say "don't take me for a card carrying member," that kind of means you're behaving like a card carrying member. It benefits both of us to be on our guard right now against the four that remain here, and we've actually, in searching here, we've shorthanded ourselves. So let's go and see if we can catch up with them. So I think you decided that they were waiting for you whilst you searched?
Yes, they're waiting.
Oh, okay.
While they're searching, can
Yes.
I ask the guy we've the guy we picked up,
Yeah.
some questions before we get to the others?
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
About what happened to the
Yeah,
other
of
guy.
course. He's not looking. He's looking very shaken, a bit shocked and frightened. But yes, of course, you can talk to him. Yeah, any of you inside the dipper can. Yeah. So Arlovsky and Graf as well. You're all there.
I think I'm just going to sit and just watch him while the commissar questions.
Okay, I'll make you make an observation roll in a moment then, Craig, but not quite yet.
So yeah, I just want to ask what he thinks happened with I've forgotten his name already. There's too many names.
Verdine.
Verdine. One of the other members mentioned something, but I want to hear it from you.
He's kind of like looking into his hands and looking down and not really making eye contact, and he says, Verdine went mad. I hope you caught him, because Yeah, he went mad. He was attacking us, and then he ran away.
How? What? Why? Is there a reason he just attacked you out of nowhere, or?
I don't know. He punched Ibeck, and Ozolinski tried to stop him, but he got in Ozolinski's dipper and disappeared. And the other dippers weren't fueled, and we didn't have enough fuel to go after him, so we had to let him go.
Okay.
Does it look like this guy's telling the truth? I mean, does he look like he's full of shit? Is this?
Make an observation roll. Yeah, Graf and Orlovsky.
Can I not make the roll?
Yeah, I'll let you have that. That's fine.
That's 2 successes.
Yeah, 2, but also a panic.
Okay, roll your panic then, Will.
Okay, 6.
Okay, yeah, you're holding it together. Yeah, you're not sure this guy's telling the whole truth.
Does it look like he's got any? Like he's been in a scuffle? Does he have bloody knuckles?
No, he looks fine. He doesn't look harmed in any way. He just looks very frightened.
So you said he punched. Which one
Ibeck.
did you say? Ibeck.
So yeah, Zenaida Ibeck. He punched her, and Ozolinski tried to chase him down, but he got away before he could stop him.
Okay.
I've been sat while I've listened. Just been as Graf normally is doing, is sat playing with his cards in his hands. Just grabs one out. King of Diamonds. Very unlucky in this sort of situation. Are you sure there's not something you've missed out of what happened?
He looks at you like King of Diamonds. What are you talking about?
It's unlucky, very unlucky card. King of Diamonds.
Pretty good in poker. Not that I know how to play poker. We don't have anything to bet in the UPC.
Make a manipulation roll then, Graf.
Two successes.
He looks like he kind of is almost about to say something, and then he stops himself and says, "Look, if you don't believe me, go and talk to Ozolinski. Go and talk to Ibeck. They'll tell you what
I didn't
happened."
say I didn't believe you. Just you seem to be hesitant about something.
It's been frightening. I'm a scientist. I'm not used to people being violent and going mad. You need to talk to Ozolinski. He'll tell you everything. He'll tell you what I've told you.
Well, hopefully he'll get a luckier card.
Out of curiosity, I'm going to ask the guy again. I've heard reports that there are some, natural hazards and stuff in the area. What sort of equipment do you have in your bases here to protect yourselves?
He seems to kind of warm a little bit when he actually talk about the work here, and he said, "Well, yeah, I mean, these plants aren't actually that bad once you get used to them. So we wear suits and have face masks so they can't swipe us. And if you move through them slowly, the roots don't grab you. And if you don't hurt them, then the shrimp ants don't come and get you. So as long as you're careful with them, then it's okay. We did have a bit of trouble with where we put the secondary pod. We had to clear the whole island there of them. So we used incinerators on them. And that was a bit hairy for a while. but we did manage to burn all the roots back, and now that island is free and safe, so we can use it. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, once you get used to them, bit of science knowledge, once you know what you're talking about, these things are much easier than the trouble we had when we first got here.
Did you have to? Sorry, go Will.
Have you figured out the mechanism for how the shrimp are motivated? You know, is there do these pheromones like infrasonics? How are they? You know, what how do they coordinate? You know, what makes them attack? Have you figured that out yet?
No, we've got a few theories, but they obviously work. Andy's comment. This isn't Gardener's World, you know. They're symbiotic with the flowers, and they kind of feed off each other as well. So when the flower comes under attack, the creatures, the shrimp ants will defend it. Quite how that's communicated, not entirely sure yet.
Have we started eating them yet?
Not.
Have they got into our food yet?
No, not yet. No.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah, the reason I ask, you say that Verdine went mad. Was he perhaps trying to figure out what makes the shrimp attack, or something like that, like some kind of pheromone or chemical extract, something that would cause him to enter a violent rage, something like that. I mean, we want to believe you here, but he's pretty banged up.
Well, not in the work that I've done, but you could be right. Absolutely, you could really be onto something there. I think you might. That might be why he went mad. Absolutely, yeah.
On a similar line of questioning, what was his focus here? What was he studying, in charge of, or whatnot?
He's I'm a xenobiologist and a medic. So
what was the other guy? Not
Verdine.
Oh,
Verdine, thank you.
But Verdine, he was a geologist. He was looking into those geysers and the craters that they left behind when they destroyed the lagoons.
He gave the geezers the wrong look, and they came after him.
What pod is? Where's his primary station? Where's his workstation? Verdine.
Verdine was working at the secondary science pod, up by where the couple of the geezers had blown holes in the in the lagoons. I'm just going to show the map again, Matt. If you could put it up, if you can see the map, he's referring to these two lagoons here, either side of the main island. So the main island here, where the secondary science pod is, has been cleared of the lagoon flowers. And he's referring to these two lagoons where they've had a geyser which has destroyed the flower and destroyed the ground in the lagoon.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think we just wait for the other two to finish their search and then go have nice...
I think they're finishing their search as you're finishing your conversation. I think that's probably at the right amount of time.
Okay.
We search very efficiently.
5 minutes. It's a turn.
Then yeah, I think we'd best not keep the others waiting. Head over there and have a little chat. Get to the bottom of this scuffle.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put the map up again. I'm going
to just relay what we talked about. With the two on the search party there.
Yeah.
To get them up to speed on the ride over.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is a few hundred meters. So each hex is 50 meters. So you're looking at maybe almost a kilometer to get to the secondary science pod. So this whole island is now free of plants. You can park your dipper wherever you please.
Okay.
Uh,
Before we get off the pod, the dipper, I want to tell my second in command there that I want to keep this guy separate from the others. When we get on board, make sure the other's story lines up with his before he gets a chance to fill them in.
From what Arlovsky said, it sounds like he has not deviated from a story that he was trained in.
No, but more the very specific details.
Yeah, now I can
that were
understand that.
mentioned.
Are you saying you want me to stay with him?
Sure. Yeah.
I can stay on guard duty if you want, sir.
Would
Whoever. One of
It
you.
may be better if I come with you, sir, and Corporal Graff stays with the prisoner, with the comrade.
I was going to suggest that Corporal Graff take a look at the other dippers and check for other signs of sabotage. See if this was a one-off or if they're all similarly been like the compression suits, and also to check on the amount of fuel. They mentioned that they didn't have enough fuel to go back and rescue him. If we can go into the second interviews, knowing whether or not they're going to tell us the truth. If we don't ask questions you don't already know the answer to. So
Yeah,
if we
it's
know whether or
wise,
not they have
but,
enough fuel.
But don't you try and divide our forces. Commissar has given Graff a job. The Commissar and I will check over the other dippers.
Oh, what are these two going to do?
We'll do the interrogating then.
No, you won't.
Well,
We could split up.
make up
To-
your mind, Inspector. Come on.
One of each of us go to inspect one, and the other two go for the other. Before
Indeed,
we get into the pod.
by all means,
Whilst, hang on,
Commander, Commissar,
guys, whilst you're debating this, I'm going to just go dark for 2 minutes. So debate away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very well. We keep. I entirely agree that we keep one of these LaSalle officers with one of us at each time. We can keep our eye on them. I lean in to whisper. I think I have a working relationship with Campbell here. He seems easily manipulated.
It's all yours.
Yeah, I'd like to conduct the interviews if possible. I'd like to be there for that. So, Campbell, how are you with a wrench?
With a wrench? It's not.
We're making a visual inspection. I will value,
No, we're gonna
Campbell,
inspect both
what,
the dippers
what you saw of the other
Before
thing.
we go in for the interviews, we're each going to split up and take a dipper, and then we'll go into the other pod. So we'll all be there for the interviews.
I see. Okay. Still entertaining. One of these days, one of these sessions, we're going to have to learn to get along without.
It's not this day.
Without
This
giving
day
up
we
one
fight.
way or the other.
The Union of Progressive Peoples is an entire state of harmony. If you want to give up your capitalist ways, you are welcome to join us.
No, I don't.
Stop
when you
accepting your
do, you know where to come.
capitalist currency and start accepting the glorious UPP merits for your hard work.
At this point, like my arm goes up, my sleeve just goes a little bit shy, and you can see my gold Rolex. as I just kind of gaze upon
Look
it
at
for a
that.
moment before we proceed, in order to
Disgusting.
reduce the stress, if the DM will allow it. If the
Yes,
GM will allow it.
that's absolutely fine.
I was kind of I wondered whether Corporal Graff playing with cards earlier on has reduced his stress. I'm getting no response here.
Oh, who were you after? Response.
Right.
Were
so
you trying to reduce stress as you were playing cards, shuffling your deck and intimidating him with tarot? Or did I misread that?
Oh,
I
no,
wasn't
I
there,
was
so I
just
didn't
trying
say
to
anything at the
intimidate
time.
him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. What conclusion have you reached, gentlemen?
We split our forces. The commissar and Arlovsky will check out one dipper. That is to say, Campbell and I will check out the second dipper. And then
Reconvene.
we will reunite to conduct interviews with the 3 remaining suspects.
Okay, I should start.
Isn't Graf the
the map.
gearhead?
Yep.
Is he not the?
But I'm also the grunt.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
All right, guys. Listen up. So as you're approaching, you can see that the 2 other dippers are parked on the beach along here. If you can see the map,
No, not yet.
No, we
right
can't see
now.
the map. Give me a moment.
Matthew. Yep.
Yeah, my mouse isn't working.
Okay.
Here we go.
UPP
Come
tech.
back. Where are they? Indicate for us.
The 2 dippers are along this beach here.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're kind of, I guess you're coming around here in your dipper. Are you leaving behind the broken dipper, or
No,
are you
I think
bringing
we're
it with
taking
you?
it
no.
with
I
us.
think we're doing it with.
Yeah. Okay. You can see that there are 3 people stood on the rocks here outside the secondary science pod, obviously waiting for you to arrive.
Did we not tell them to wait inside?
I think we did.
Okay.
Another example of disobedience. I shall make a note of it for future reference.
Where are their hands? What are they holding? Other questions of that sort.
2 of them are not holding. Well, none of them are holding anything. They are just in sort of like what you'd expect, sort of standard sort of science overalls for 2 of them. Ozelinski is in sort of maintenance overalls, maybe a protective suit. He does appear to have a shotgun over his shoulder, which is kind of standard for him in this situation, as he is here as maintenance and security.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, just
I'm gonna
double
stop
checking
sharing.
it. Double checking that, pointing that out to the commissar,
Yeah.
the comrade inspector,
spot.
and corporal.
But we
Graph.
can't assume that just because he's holding the shotgun means that he shot the other guy.
You would have the necessary training to have conducted that sort of sabotage, though, sir.
That is also
What's our-
true.
I think you can assume that according to the report of your previous interview, he gave chase when Vadim stole his.
That is
dipper.
true.
I imagine that
But-
shoulder injury may have occurred at that point. We can ask these details.
Yes. But well, they might
Well,
not
actually,
like us.
since we're in a dipper with the other one, I will turn to Karim and say, so when did Orlovsky shoot Vadim?
He tried to stop him escaping, and as Vadim was going for his dipper, he had a shot at him. I don't know if he hit him, but he fired a few times at the back of the dipper. But it was too late. That Vadim was too far ahead.
Was
But
Vadim's wound on the front of the shoulder or the back?
It was on the back.
Right.
It was kind of on here.
Yeah.
But
And,
but the shots from the shotgun wouldn't have been sufficient to do the damage. That hole in the back of the pod.
No.
I believe it was blown out as well.
In the
Yeah.
bottom of the pod blown out. Dipper.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it would be curious because if that was Orlovsky's or Ozovsky's,
Ozelinski.
that one, that one's pod, then why would he have sabotaged his own pod?
It may be that Verdine wasn't the one that was meant to be killed.
Perhaps, yes. But then
Did it?
We don't know that he has sabotaged any of them. As far as we're aware, all 4 of these people are suspects.
yes.
Did it look like he
Let
had
us
burn marks or
complete
anything
our
on his hand,
investigations.
or his the front of his body when we found Verdine? Do either of you remember?
No, he didn't. He didn't look like he had burn marks on him. No, the only
Okay,
thing you find was the shotgun wound.
Okay, because if he would have blown himself up in a mad rage or whatever their story is, you'd think that he would have, the explosion would have hit him front on, and the fact that that's he doesn't have burns on his hands or soot or scoring on his front, I think implies that there was some sabotage of some sort. And then I give a side eye to our prisoner.
Yeah, again, unusual that the sabotage would be on that particular pod.
Okay, make an observation roll, Will.
Nope, I'm gonna push. Okay, yeah, that's one success, and then I also panicked again.
Okay, make your panic roll.
How many dice have you got now, Will?
I've got 3 panic dice now. Yeah.
And
Okay.
what was your total?
With the
For
panic.
the panic roll?
Yeah, 7.
Okay, so yeah, you're getting a nervous twitch. So your stress level, the stress level of everybody else in the dipper with you, which right now is everybody, goes up by 1. You look up at you're saying this thing about sabotage, and you look up at Christoph Kalin, and you can see on his face he's got no idea what you're talking about. The idea of sabotage is not in his mind at all. You don't know what. He knows nothing about it, you think.
That's good to know.
Okay, well, we'll stop on the edge of the beach or however close we can.
You can stop wherever you
to-
please, because these islands are very shallow and very. They're not difficult to negotiate with a dipper.
But as the commissar says, we want to stop close to the other 2 dippers.
Yeah. And you're going to search those dippers first, are you?
Well,
We
if they're
are.
standing on the beach, they might not be.
Yes,
awfully happy.
we are.
I
Okay.
agree.
Considering the time, I'm just going to move on. You search the dippers. You can't find anything unusual in either of them.
Okay.
They're both reasonably fueled, but they're not fully fueled. They don't have enough fuel to get all the way back on their own to
Can we
Solovetski
also
Island.
check
If
the
one of them-
oxygen levels in the compression suits?
They are fine. They look normal.
If one of them put all the fuel in the other one, would they have enough for one pod to get back? Do we think?
Maybe just, but they are reliant upon supply runs. But at the moment, each individual dipper does not have enough fuel to do 2,000 kilometers.
Yeah. Okay, then
Very well.
we'll go up to the people standing on the beach.
Okay, yeah, they're obviously looking a bit. Well, certainly Ozolinski is looking a bit kind of impatient that you've kind of ignored them and gone off to search the other things, but hasn't done anything about it. And he says, "Look, I hope you found Verdine. Yeah, he's a danger to himself and to other people. I'm right, aren't I? I mean," and he looks back to Ibeck and Chan, who are with him, and they
We've
both
got
kind of
him.
like nod their head. And he goes, "Oh, great, good. Oh, that's excellent. Great work. Thank you, Commissar General. I feel so much better that you've got the mad criminal, and can't hurt anybody else."
Can you explain exactly why you think he is mad?
He
Very
started
carefully talking about him in the present tense.
he started getting violent. Look at Ibeck. Look at her black
what
eye.
triggered it?
And she does have a black eye, yes.
She does have a black eye, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing. He just turned on us.
Describe exactly. In fact, should we split these people up? We want to hear their story described separately, don't we? And see if there's any discrepancies.
Okay, I'll take him. I'll take Ozan this week.
Does Solovetski happen to have a bruised knuckles like I'm thinking like To Kill a Mockingbird style? Like does Solovetski have bruised knuckles where it could have been him punching the girl?
Ozolinsky does have bruised knuckles, yes.
I see. Okay. And do we remember if? I guess we weren't looking at Aberdeen. It didn't really look close enough.
There were no obvious signs of Verdeen having been punched. No.
Okay.
But he might have been. But there were no obvious bruises or
on his hands like
nose.
He was punching. Did he have skinned up knuckles or?
You can easily go and check, can't you?
Oh yeah, I guess
his body is just over there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that then.
If you're doing that, Will, there are no scuffs on his knuckles. His knuckles look normal.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, yes, we should.
You're taking
Arlovsky, what are you thinking?
I think that this. It looks to me, and I guess we'll, pull back so the others, the other scientists can't hear. It looks to me like since there aren't any scuffs on Verdeen's knuckles, that this whole getting violent and attacking story is just that. It's a story. And as Linsky, he said he gave chase. He tried to catch him, but he's got scuffed up knuckles. They said he got away. They weren't able to, to get him. Why are his knuckles all busted up like he's been in a boxing match? And I think it's kind of strange that there's no bruises on Verdeen's knuckles, but there is on the guy who's coming up with the story. Do you think that perhaps this female scientist maybe took one for the team and took a sock in the eye there, to sell this story?
There's every chance there is. I'm just reminded at some point when Campbell and Graff were in the submerged dipper, you asked over the radio whether there were any data tapes. Did you find any? I'm just wondering, has Vadim written a log that none of us have found yet?
There wasn't. You did search for it. You didn't find anything in the dipper.
No.
Okay. Let's go on with these interviews then.
Individual questioning.
Dave, Game Mother.
Yeah.
Campbell, having this discussion with Arlovsky, Campbell's going to keep a covert eye on the one with the shotgun.
Yeah, Ozolinsky.
Ozolinsky, just to see, what he's doing with it. Because ideally, it would be nice if he could put it down.
So at the moment, it's over his shoulder.
Yeah.
So he's not wielding it, but he is carrying it.
Yeah.
Can I try a command or something to get the shotgun, or is that
command or manipulate? Yeah.
You can,
I mean, I guess maybe manipulate. You can
talk to Ozolinsky and try and get him to hand over the shotgun if you want.
Okay. Yeah. So listen. We're here trying to figure this all out. I was speaking to your fellow scientist. I think we might have we might know why he went crazy like that. The shrimp. They attack when the flowers are being harmed. So perhaps he was working on some kind of pheromone based project or something, and that's what made him go crazy. It makes perfect sense, that it's I mean, your story checks out. We're going to do interviews and all that. Do you mind just so that everybody's feeling so we're on even footing here? Do you mind unloading the shotgun, and you could give it to one of your comrade inspector here, or the commissar, just so we all go into this with even footing?
Well, I have a job to do here, which is to secure this place and defend it, and that is why I have the weapon, and that there's no reason for me to hand the weapon over. And Verdine, I don't know why he went mad, but he's a geologist. He's not a biologist. He just stir crazy or something. I don't know. You've obviously got my dipper back, which is great. I mean, it's in the right mess. I don't know what you've done to it. Where's Verdine? What have you done with Verdine?
We're asking the questions. Commissar, I suggest that we use the other two dippers as interview rooms.
I agree. Yes, I will take.
Are you sure that he couldn't have come into contact with something like that? Because we're going to need to, if he did, we need to know so that we could figure out some kind of antidote for him. Oh shit!
Do you want to make a manipulate or a command roll, Will?
This is a good lie. I think you should be making a manipulate roll.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm trying to be
trying to get the guy
sleazy corporate
panicking.
dude.
Yeah. I like it. I admire it.
Okay, that's 2.
2 successes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks at you and he says, "I don't take orders from LaSalle. I take orders from the commanders of the UPP. I don't." And he spits on the floor. "I don't listen to you." And he deliberately steps back, takes a few steps away from you.
Right. I shall use my manipulate to say, well, as an officer of the UPP and the Committee for Public Protection, I will ask you, please, to take orders from the commissar here, who asked you to accompany him into that dipper over there and hand over your shotgun to me. You are relieved temporarily of your security duties. Why does my... There we go. And I'm 6 dice on that. Oh, plus my stress. 1 panic, 2 successes.
Okay, roll your panic.
Is 4.
Okay, you're holding
6 in total.
Okay, yeah, you're holding it together. This guy's quite big, quite imposing, quite impressive, intimidating looking. He's a tough guy, and he kind of stares you in the eye as you're saying this. And he says, "All right, I'll hand over my shotgun to the Commissar General. Nobody else." And he walks over towards you. And as he does, he looks back across at Ibeck and Chan and says, "Just tell the truth, guys, and everything will be fine."
Could he emphasize the word truth any harder?
I'm not a very good actor, John. Give me a chance.
Can I take Ibeck and, if you wish to accompany me, Campbell,
sure,
into the other pod?
Yeah.
Who do you want to do first, interview-wise, Dave?
So
I'm ready to go.
Who's doing Chan? Who's looking after Chan? So Campbell and
Chan out here.
Are you, okay.
What with Arlovsky?
So I think we do Blatchman and Ozolinsky first. And he follows you. Are you taking him into the dipper?
Yes.
Yeah. So you go into the dipper. He puts the shotgun down on the side and sits on a chair next to the table where he's put the shotgun.
Okay. So, sorry about that. The Lascelles guys think they're in charge here. They like to throw their weight around, what little of it they have.
Corporate capitalist bastards. They should.
Indeed.
We should never have thrown in with their scum. Don't you agree, Commissar General? They're just scum. What are we doing with these people here?
Yeah, we could have done so much better on our own.
And that's
Anyway.
that's what I'm trying to do here, Commissar.
So, just between the two of us, what exactly happened? I want to help you.
Can you make a manipulation roll to see how much he's going to trust you?
Yeah. Plus stress. There's 2 successes.
Okay, that's quite good. He leans forward. He's kind of puts his arm on the side of the table and leans forward and says, "Look, you won't know this yet. We've had the biggest find ever. Biggest. This is changing the future of the UPP almost, and we can't share it with Lascelles. And my actions have been sanctioned from the top. Really the top. And Verdine couldn't be allowed to spoil that. I mean, he got away. I mean, I God knows what happened to him once he left. He left in my dipper. But he got away. So we got to keep it hush hush, Commissar General, for the good of the UPP. This is the biggest find ever. We found rhodium. Do you know how rare? Do you know how rare rhodium is? Do you know what it's used for? It's used in atmosphere processes. It's used in all sorts, but there's none of it around. It's going to make the UPP rich. If the find here is as big as we think it might be, it's these geezers. They blow up. The whole place is corroded by this nitric acid, and it blows up. And it's just left nickel, and the nickel is just full of rhodium. And if we let Lascelles have it, we'll get none. The corporates will take it. We'll have nothing. And that's why Verdine. That's why I tried to stop Verdine leaving. It didn't work. But if he's dead, then great. That's brilliant. But I don't know. I mean, my dipper was in perfect condition. I don't know what's going. I don't know what happened with it.
It seems some sabotage has been done to it. By who? I do not know.
Some sabotage.
There was a explosion. I'm not 100% on the details, but midway out on the way back, it seems to have sunk. We've no idea what caused the explosion.
Well, there's only one person here who'd want to do that. And that's Ibeck. She hates me. She always has. She can't handle, having me in kind of a position of authority over her.
What's her issue with you? You seem like a stand-up guy.
She hates me. She just, I don't know. You have to ask her, but she hates me. But there's nobody else here. I didn't sabotage my own dipper,
No, I
was supposed to be going back to the colony yesterday, but bloody Verdine took my took my dipper and left me here stranded.
I bet Ibex regretting that now. Because it would have been your body had you
So
returned.
what do we do then, Commissar? Are you going to
there's the real
support me in
question.
this?
Because from this investigation, you are most likely to be implicated in his death, unless we can prove that Ibex caused the sabotage. Because I do not reckon the gunshot was fatal. And I think we can, especially if the rest of the members here are backing your side of the story, then we can keep you working here. Your security here, you did security. If we can pin Ibeck, then all the better for you. And for the UPP, of course.
Sounds good to me. Okay, let's shift to Campbell and Shue and Ibeck.
Why are you covering for Ovelinsky?
I'm not covering for anybody.
You're not telling the whole truth, though, are you?
I've got nothing to hide. I just work here. I mean, I want to do a good job, and this is all above my pay grade. This is nothing to do with me. I'm a scientist.
Pay grade?
Merit grade.
We are, of course, all loyal to the party and the structures that the party imposes. I noticed, or rather, even the LaSalle guys noticed that
Ozolinsky.
Ovelinsky's.
I'll get an easier name next time.
Right, this guy's going to die before the end of the day, so that you have to roll a new.
A different name.
Ovelinsky obviously punched you. It wasn't.
Make a manipulate roll, Matt.
Bloody-
You can have a dice from Campbell if Campbell's there. I think you're there, aren't you,
He is,
John?
yeah. Plus my
Yeah.
stress.
Of course.
Oh, that's lovely. 3 successes. No panic.
When you say that, she bursts into tears. Floods of tears. Kind of almost uncontrollable.
I've heard very good reports of you. You do excellent work. You should not need to cry. You are not to blame here, as long as you tell the truth.
I am to blame, though. I am. It's Vadim's dead, isn't he?
Vadim is dead, yes.
I killed him.
How did you kill him?
I sabotaged the dipper
You sabotaged the dipper.
to
How
kill
did you sabotage the dipper?
Ozolinsky because he's been beating me.
And
Why-
Vadim ran for Ovelinsky's dipper. Tell me all the ways in which you sabotaged the dipper.
I sabotaged it so it would breach the hull and sink. I sabotaged the compression suits so they would look like they were full of air but had no air. In the knowledge that this would happen halfway between here and Solovetski, so Ozolinsky would have no chance of survival. I'm so sorry. And she burst into tears again. I'm so guilty.
Why was Ozolinsky beating you? Not that I am asking you to defend yourself in this, but
He's always made advances which I've never encouraged, and he hasn't liked that. And even when we first arrived here, I warned him off, thinking that it would be all right. But ever since it's just been the 4 or 5 of us, he's started again and won't. When I refused, he punched me.
And why did Osolinsky attack? What's his name?
Why did
Verdine?
Verdine. Yes.
I
Why-
don't know. There was something going on between them. Verdine was then just decided to leave and was trying to escape. And Osolinsky tried to stop him. And obviously didn't. And I tried to stop him because I didn't want him going in Osolinsky's dipper because I knew what would happen to him.
How did you try and stop him?
Well, he was too far away. I just shouted. They were too far away from me when
So
it
he
happened.
did not punch you.
Verdine didn't touch. No, Garth was a very nice. Okay, he was a capitalist swine, but he was a very nice person.
Everyone.
Very nice capitalist.
He was a good
seems
scientist.
to me that you were protecting then not Verdine but Osolinsky. Why did you comply when we first arrived with the fantasy that Osolinsky tried to live?
Because Osolinsky has said he's got, our silence is good for the UPP, and as loyal UPP, why wouldn't I follow what he said?
Because the UPP is all about truth, of course.
It might
We can
be
honest with our brothers and our sisters.
It might be if you're a comrade inspector, but if you're just a young scientist who's out here in the middle of nowhere at the mercy of someone like Osolinsky, it's a very different world. You may not be in an ivory tower like this LaSalle man here, but you are in a UPP ivory tower if you think it's all equal for all of us.
We are trying to build perfect worlds. I'm sorry that you...
All of them.
But, Comrade Ibeck, I put you under arrest by orders of the Committee for Public Protection.
She descends into tears again. They're kind of resigned tears. She sort of knows that she's done wrong, and she knows she has to pay for it.
One more question: Were you and Verdine lovers?
Oh no, not at all. Absolutely not.
Good. His wife would be pleased to hear that.
Okay, so these conversations have gone on for a while. Arlovsky and Graf, you're still outside with Christoph Kalin on the beach, or on the rocks there. Is there anything you guys want to do in this period? Chan, not. Oh yeah, both of them actually. Yeah, because Kalin is there.
Chan's in our pod. Kalin's in our pod. Chan's on the beach.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to do? You're mute. Will, you're muted, mate.
I am muted. Yeah, so I'm gonna just with the whole, like, you're a scientist, logic and cause and effect, and just use that to frame the whole no bruises on Verdine's hand and the bruises on Zelinsky's, along with the black eye for Ibeck, and just that the story doesn't add up. That we can tell that this, that Zelinsky, he's the ringleader here. And that just here's your chance. The commissar's in there and the inspector's in with the other.
He says, "Yeah, Chance. Look, I've only been back a day. I'm a wildcatter. I've been out prospecting. I got back a day ago, and all this stuff has happened." And Osolinsky said that Verdine had gone mad and he punched Ibeck and they'd run off, and they tried to stop him, but he'd escaped. He'd taken Ozolinski's dipper. I've only been back a day. I'm as much in the dark as you are.
Is there any reason why Verdine would have wanted to hurt anybody here? I know you've only been back a day, but you know this rotation. Is there anything going on? Any reason why Zelensky would want to hurt Verdine, or Verdine would want to attack Ibeck? It just doesn't. It something about this doesn't jive with me.
No, Ozolinski isn't an easy guy to get on with. He's difficult. He's quite aggressive. But I don't know. Verdine seemed fine. He was a decent. Okay, he was LaSalle, but he was decent.
Yeah, and nothing with Ibeck. No, unwanted flirtation. No, no squabbles over work stuff.
What, Verdine? No, not that I saw. No.
If he supposedly punched her, I don't.
Yeah, It's you're right. It's strange. I didn't think Verdine was like that, but obviously, Ozolinski and Ibeck were here. They said that he attacked them. I got no reason to distrust what they say.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That's all for me. Do you have anything else, Graf?
Not that I can immediately think of, but I suppose we've only got the word of those two. Be easy for them to have put together a story.
Yeah, I would like to take a look at the whatever pod, the one we were going to look at, if we've got time for that.
Is this the secondary science pod?
Yeah, the one we asked about earlier, where Verdine was working, looking for that tape that wasn't on the dipper.
Yeah, I'm just going to share the screen again. So, okay, when you can see the screen, guys, the image.
Yep.
So yeah, the secondary science pod. That's where Verdine was working. It's exactly the same in design and size as the primary science pod. But you are more than welcome to go and have a little look in there if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'll stay and guard these two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make an observation roll then, please, Orlovsky.
Let me check and see what my. Okay, 4 and 2 plus 3. 6 plus 3. Too many dice. I was all excited I got these actual alien dice. Okay, that's no successes. I'm going to push.
Yep.
No stress. Hey, 3.
Okay. So you find there are traces of a silvery white dust in this. There's a big geology part to this, which is where Verdine was working. And what's the roll? I think make a heavy machinery roll to see if you recognize what this stuff is.
Ooh, yeah, that's all right. 2 dice.
Plus your stress, of course.
Right. Ooh, wow. That couldn't have gone worse. Yeah, 2 successes, but I got 3 panic. So
okay.
Let me roll.
So roll 3 times and tell me the worst one.
2, 5, 4. Okay, so that would be a 9 then, would be the worst.
Okay.
The panic or the stress.
Fine. So you succeed, but so you pick up this vial and it's got this stuff in it, this silvery white stuff, and you're looking at it and you're trying to work out what it is. But as soon as you start to realize this is a thing called rhodium, and you realize how valuable that even this little vial of rhodium is. It's probably worth hundreds of thousands of Wayland Utali dollars. And you drop it in the shock, and it lands on the desk and it breaks because you realize that rhodium, the name of rhodium comes from the Greek for rose, and you realize that with this find, the danger and the trouble it's going to cause on this planet is going to be so enormous, because the find, if it's real and there's a lot of it, is going to be the biggest thing in the UPP or even in LaSalle's recent history, because it's so valuable. And so there's no rose without a thorn, and the value and the power of this thing is the thorn that comes with the rose of rhodium. And you drop it, and I did that wasn't planned, it just worked out really well. Brilliant. Thank you, Will.
So is there tape or anything or a slide? I'm just gonna get just like a little, like try to get at some of the dust, just to bring it back. And I'm not gonna say anything to anybody.
So Vadim's work is here, and it shows that in those lagoons that have been blown apart by the geysers coming through, it's revealed so much corroded rock that it's just revealed enormous nickel deposits. But within the nickel are seams of rhodium, and rhodium is so rare and so valuable that if this is more than just a trace seam, it's going to be a game-changing thing for the entire colony, and possibly for the LaSalle and UPP as well. Okay. And that's what you found with his research.
Okay, I'm going to try to scoop up as much of that as I can, just for more drugs, I guess, back at base. Is there a the white powder?
That is an expensive snort. That is, blimey. Again, kids, just say no. Just say no. Yeah.
Don't snort unknown substances. Don't snort known substances. Honestly,
no. Is his work?
There's very few that are meant to be snorted.
Is it stored on any kind of any of the tapes, or is it all paper?
So no, there's electronic records here. It's all gone into this. It's all done kind of openly on records. He hasn't tried to keep a secret of anything. But yeah, it's all there. Yeah. So recognizing the time. So okay, guys, you've done your interviews. You come back out together onto the beach. We need to wrap this up a little bit, but what are you doing now? You've kind of resolved.
I mean, as I left, I handed Solovetski.
Yeah,
correct.
Good man.
Yeah,
good man.
I got it. I hand him back his shotgun rather than let him pick it up as a sign of
right. Good faith.
Yeah, and I want to try and have a quiet word with Inspector Shu. Whatever.
I'm biting my tongue fucking hard right now. Anyway, carry on, Connor. Nothing to do with you. Just the latest comment.
Sorry. I'm going to tell him exactly the stuff that Solovetski told me, and
about
this could be big for the
rhodium
UPP.
find, because that's not a thing I know about.
Yes. And this could be big for the UPP, and I'm assuming I've seen him come out with what's her face in chain or in cuffs. I bet
cuffs. Yeah.
So evidently you have solved
I have a
the
confession
murder
from her, witnessed.
Perfect.
It's not a good story. I'm not sure that Solovetski is the right person to be running this mission, but that's above my pay grade.
I
merit
think
grade.
he's the perfect person to be running this mission, unless you want LaSalle all over this.
Will, we might be making new characters by the end of this episode. They were joking. But...
Well, at the moment,
that's why I'm not saying anything about it.
At the moment, nobody knows that Will's discovered the
Yeah.
rhodium.
At the moment,
Yeah.
Shu and Blatchman have got no idea that as you say, Arlovsky has found out what he's found. So
yeah.
So I think unless anyone's doing anything else, we'll wrap things up here. We'll take Ibeck back with us in cuffs, I will give Ozelinski you owe me one sort of nod. And
head
we'll
back.
head back, yeah, and put her in.
Case solved.
Yeah, we did technically
solved.
solve the murder. We know exactly who did it and why.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
It's an open and shut case.
well done, Dave.
Right.
Well done.
We have restored
you.
peace to the UPP.
So-
Not that
Exactly.
peace was ever in doubt across the wider UPP,
No,
but to this part of the UPP, law and order has been upheld.
of course.
Is there time for two corporate fuckover backstabbery type stuff?
Of course, always.
I'd like to write up a report on the whoever the leader is for LaSalle. That the issue of having corporate staff travel alone. The fact that wasn't codified. It caused bodies are valuable out here, and we lost a valuable geologist because whoever's up in charge, didn't think to, so just that kind of thing.
To be fair, I also agree in that should be like a requirement is at least going.
No
Yeah,
lone working.
For sure. So yeah, we'll propose that, but I want to get the guy ahead of me fired, basically, and and then again with the with
Hold
the
on, who is
rhodium.
the guy ahead of you? Jonathan Campbell? Campbell?
I don't think
No,
so.
we're
At the
we're
moment,
level foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
So you've got
we're kind of
you've got,
lateral, but different departments.
you've got the corporate director, who's Alison Senna. You've got her deputy, and then you've got three corporates, two of which are Olofsky and Campbell.
Okay,
So, yeah.
Senna. Okay, that's my rival then.
Senna is the boss. She is basically the number two, if not the number one, on the whole colony. She's certainly number one for LaSalle. She's equal to the UPP colony supervisor.
Yeah, I'm gonna badmouth her and bring up that as a result of this, we almost didn't discover my second promotion worthy discovery here about the rhodium. We would have completely missed that, and the UPP would have snuck it right under our noses if it weren't for if it weren't for just dumb luck and the fact that I happened to go out there myself. So it's something to think about up top there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very good. Well done. I like that very much.
Good stuff.
Brilliant. Okay, guys, you get back to base. I think you get back to base halfway through the Aphelion holiday. So
Hooray, a day off!
the next scenario might be based on that day for whoever is there, because then we'll have the end of cycle. So that'll the colony will grow or otherwise at the end of the next episode.
We'll have a party and then everything will go into chaos.
And are you planning to have
Possibly.
that in a couple of weeks' time?
2 weeks' time, it will be the next episode. Not sure who will be the cast yet. Not sure what the name of the episode will be, but episode 3 will be this time next week.
No,
the
in
week
2 weeks'
after.
time.
This time in 2 weeks. That's what I meant to say.
The week after next.
The week after next. Yes, indeed. Guys, thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you.
Shall we say goodbye to our viewers?
I think we say goodbye to our viewers, and I could
Bye, viewers.
Goodbye to our
experience
viewers.
next time.